Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to do a cooking video. It's been a while. We're going to do Grandma Jane's pasta salad. First thing we're going to use is 12 ounces of tricolor rotini. I like Barilla. We're going to use a can of large black olives, pitted, as well as some Italian dressing of your choice. We're going to add some pepperoni. This is Colby jack cheese and cheddar cheese. And then, of course, a pepper. We're going to use the orange one. Some frozen peas, some shredded carrots, and also some broccoli. It's a fresh broccoli head, and I don't know why I didn't take a picture of that. Sorry about that. But first thing you want to do is you want to undercook your pasta. So this particular box of Barilla pasta, the tricolor rotini always seems to come in 12 ounces. So that's what the recipe calls for. It makes quite a bit of pasta salad, so keep that in mind. If you feel like you might need to double the recipe, I'll show you what it looks like when it's done. But you basically want to boil it in plenty of water. You want to get all the starch out, especially when you're making pasta salad. When you cover pasta with sauce, you don't worry too much about the starch. But this particular box, if you get Barilla, calls for 6 to 7 minutes or 7 to 8 minutes, and we're going to cook it for 5 to 6 minutes. You want it to be really underdone because as it sits in the Italian dressing, then it's going to go ahead and get a little bit softer and a little bit moister. But you kind of want to have a tooth to it too. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to cube up the cheese. Now, the reason I didn't tell you how much of everything except for the pasta was really it's a matter of preference. What I use is about a half a cup of frozen peas. I use the whole 15-ounce can of black olives. I use about a quarter cup to 3 tablespoons of the shredded carrots. So it's really a matter of personal preference. What I'm using here is 4 ounces of sharp cheddar cheese and 4 ounces of Colby Jack. But you, again, it's a matter of personal preference. Provolone would probably be really good in this because it does have like it is like an Italian pasta salad. But it's just when Grandma Jane first made it for me and I fell in love with it, this is all the things it had in it. So we're just going to cut them into like bite-sized pieces, not necessarily cubes. They're more like rectangles because you also want to be able to grab stuff with your fork. So it's sort of like you want to make it that it's bite-sized, but you also don't want to be chasing it around your plate. So we're going to cut up half of the block of both cheeses. So I picked an 8-ounce block of both cheeses, and I'm cutting up half of them for the pasta salad. Oh, I didn't mention the pepperoni, but I showed you the picture of the pepperoni. Oh, I did. Oh, so talking about the pepperoni. Why are we talking about the pepperoni? The pepperoni that you can find readily in New York available is stick pepperoni. I have had a difficult time trying to find it here in Rolla. However, I would prefer the stick pepperoni, but the slice worked just fine. Traditionally, that's what we always used was the stick, but obviously, if I have trouble finding it as well, then go ahead and you can just use some sliced pepperoni. And of course, the choices here you can either get Armour or this is Hormel, and those are my only choices here in Rolla as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the slices of pepperoni. I'm using about a half of the package. I'm stacking them up, and then I'm cutting them in quarters. When you're using the stick pepperoni, you want to cut a little bit of a thicker slice than that comes in the bag. And again, that's just so people can stick their fork into it and not try to chase a wet piece of pepperoni. It's not wet, but you know what I mean. Piece of pepperoni around the bottom of their plate. You'd be like, eat pasta salad with a spoon. Just put your face up to the plate and scoop it in there. Oh my goodness. The other thing is I ordered a different salad dressing from Walmart grocery pickup. I don't know if you guys have seen that video yet, but they were out. I actually ordered Ken's, the country Italian, I think it was, and they were sold out. So they substituted this, which honestly, it's really funny that when she taught me how to make this, she taught me how to make it with this salad dressing. And I just wanted to make it a little like up at a level because I've talked to you guys before about like when they call something light or reduced fat, a lot of companies tend to bump up the sugar content to offset that. But what we're going to do is we're going to supplement some olive oil with this, which I didn't put in the ingredients list because again, that's a matter of personal preference. If you're watching what you're eating and you want to go ahead and just leave the light salad dressing, absolutely 100% you can do that. Okay. So again, it's just cut the pepperoni in quarters, sort of like if you're cutting a pizza, you're just cutting it in four like that. Now we're just going to take a handful of the shredded carrots. Like I said, it's about a quarter a cup, 3 tablespoons. It's not very much. And now it's about the time you want to put your pasta in. Again, you want to make sure your water is salted. I know this is my assistant. Forgive the shaky camera. I was not feeling like I had a lot of physical energy this day. So Jim is going ahead and he's going to add the pasta to the pot and boil it for 6 minutes, which is about a minute or two less than the box says. Okay, let's do the broccoli first. So for the broccoli, you just want the very, very tips of the florets. What I did initially was try to cut the florets off, but then I end up just breaking the pieces off because when you cut them, they can tend to be a little too big for the bite, too big for the fork. So if I found out that I cut the stem off, and you can just go ahead and just rip this broccoli to pieces. Now again, you don't like raw broccoli, or if your stomach is sensitive to broccoli, you could leave it out. I just highly recommend you don't, because it really does add a wonderful freshness. If you think about it, cheese is aged, pepperoni is aged, olives are marinated and salted. So, and obviously the peas are frozen. But other than like those little bit of fresh vegetables that you add to it, you really don't have any like freshness. Everything feels like stale and old. I don't know. It's just me. She made it with broccoli. I'm gonna make it with broccoli. I'm gonna do my very best. So while I'm picking out this broccoli, I want to tell you a little bit about Grandma Jane. So I did mention it in the haul, but not everybody watches that channel, so I'll just give you a little background. My cousin's mother-in-law, my cousin JR and his wife Pam, Pam's mom, Grandma Jane. I worked with Pam's sister at a nursery school. I know you guys I've mentioned before that I was a nursery school teacher. And Grandma Jane was the receptionist and office manager and everything person. And whenever we would have a party, she would make this pasta salad. And I just fell in love with it from day one. And ever since then, it's just been, like my go-to for pasta salad. So we had Bible study and we were all making salads. And I said, oh, absolutely, I'll sign up for pasta salad because it's been a while since I made it. I will tell you, it's not the most bargain friendly. It's not very expensive for the amount that you get. Plus, you haven't, if I would have bought one more box of pasta, they would have made twice as much. And you can see how big this container is. This container is going to be full of pasta salad. I didn't use all of any of my ingredients except the broccoli. And I actually said to Jimmy, this probably has a little bit more broccoli than I would normally put in it, but it only left 1 or 2 florets left. This broccoli was from Walmart, not from Aldi. So it was they just gave me 1 crown. But it worked out okay. So now we're just going to cut up the orange pepper. Just wanted a sweet pepper. You could pick the red or the yellow. But I was kind of, actually, if you see the picture at the end, it's a very autumnal looking salad as well. Other than the black olives, there's just shades of orange and green and gold, just like the pasta. So I just thought it was so pretty. Why not pick the orange pepper to go with it as well? So, and you're just going to use like 1 pepper. Again, if your stomach is sensitive to pepper, or if your company's stomach is sensitive to pepper, you might want to make the pieces a little bit bigger so that people can pick around it. But I just like nice little bite size, but still able to grab it with a fork piece. You're able to pick it out piece, like that. And how we do this is we cut it up into like a julienne, and then we go sideways with the julienne. And honestly, if you have somebody who's like, I don't like peppers, it kind of blends in with the carrots, and they're going to love it. And then they're going to be like, oh, what was that flavor I don't used to have? You'll see. It happened. I promise. It happened here. Now, I don't ever remember her putting onion in it, but I was thinking while I was making this that onion probably wouldn't be bad. Of course, if your stomach is sensitive to onion, you can always grate onion so you can get that real natural onion flavor but still not have big chunks of onion to upset your stomach. Just about now, when we're about finished cutting our vegetables, we're going to go ahead and hear the alarm go off and drain the pasta. What's important to note when you drain the pasta is you want to rinse it because you want it to stop it from cooking right away. Plus, it's going to be a cold salad, so you don't want to have to let it cool down on the counter too long. You also don't want the hot pasta to cook any of your vegetables or to change the taste of your salad dressing or any of that stuff. So just drain off your pasta the best you can. Let it fog up your camera because, you know, you're all making this on camera too, right? And then just run cold water over it and just let it go. You could always, if you have limited water, I know that sounds like something people might not have, but go ahead and fill a bowl with ice water, and then you could submerge your colander in that bowl. That would just be using less water. I mean, we should be cooking with less water these days anyway, but just go ahead and let that run on there for a minute. You want to make sure that you drain it really well. You shake it out, make sure all the water gets going before you put in your pasta salad. So here is Jim with clean hands tossing the pasta just to see if there's any hot spots. If there is, just give it another rinse under cold water and until it's all nice and cool. All right, and you also want to take this opportunity to drain your olives. If you get olives with pull tabs, those are so much better. But, you know, poor Jim's got to use this can opener, one-handed videotaping. Can't do it. So just pour off your olives and then add them to your bowl. I remember when my little brother was little, we used to go to the Ponderosa. Do you guys remember the all-you-can-eat place called the Ponderosa? He used to take jumbo olives and put them on his fingers. I guess my mom used to do that for him, and he just loved olives. So again, these are pitted black olives in large. Don't get the colossal ones. You'll have to cut them up because they're way too big. You could get the littler ones, but here's my favorite part of pasta salad. When the frozen pea gets stuck inside the hole of the olive. I don't know why. I'm just weird that way. So what we're going to do next is we're going to get our Italian dressing. So now this is 12 ounces of pasta, probably a half a bag of pepperoni, a half a block, 8 ounces of cheese because it's two half blocks, a head of broccoli crowns, a 15-ounce can of black olives, a half cup of frozen peas or a cup of frozen peas, quarter cup of carrots, and then 1 pepper. And what we're going to use is this is a 16-ounce bottle of salad dressing. What I've done is I poured off about 4 ounces of it, and I'm going to replace or fill the rest of the bottle back up with straight olive oil. What that's going to do is that's going to introduce some good fat into this salad dressing. I'm only doing that because this is the Kraft Light Italian. If you pick a higher grade salad dressing, then you probably don't have to do this or skip this step. Is fine. But the key is to only put half of the salad dressing that you're going to use on it. What you want to do is let it marinate in half of the amount that you're going to use, and then you want to go ahead and dress it right before you serve it. So basically, it doesn't dry out. It doesn't soak up all of the salad dressing. Okay? So now you just add your pasta. We have the dressing in there already. Remember, we put a little bit on dressing underneath. And then you stir it. Now, the dressing's there. If you stir it and it still feels like it needs more to marinate, you can go ahead and add it. Just make sure you keep some for when you're ready to serve it. Now, you can serve this right away, technically. It's just that it tastes so much better if it's sat for a couple of hours or overnight to marinate in that Italian dressing. And the reason we say that this is an easy pasta salad is because it really is. You could see, other than like knowing how to cut vegetables and knowing how to boil pasta, you really don't have to have any other skills or measuring or any of that stuff. So this is me seeing if this pasta salad dressing will tip. But this is the large rock and serve container. They don't even sell this anymore, but it makes quite a lot of pasta salad. So here we are the next day, and I'm going to go ahead and show you just how to
Do you need help setting the table?
The rest of what you're going to use. Let's put it that way. And you want to stir it around just to make everything nice and moist and ready to go. I'm sorry I'm doing this one-handed. I took this to Aunt Sue's for Bible study. So you guys, that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you make it, let me know if you love it. If you have any questions at all, leave them in the comments down below. Don't forget to share tips with each other and to share with friends and family. Anybody who might be interested in making this. Of course, I wanted to tell you, you can always make this with gluten-free pasta. It is really good that way as well. I made that way once before. I usually cannot find some rotini, so I use any kind of other noodle. The one that I really like, they sell at Aldi's. It almost looks like I don't know what it's called. It's got a weird name. A cavatelli, maybe? I think it might be that. But anyway, go ahead and give this video a thumbs up, share with friends and family, and all the things. And as always, you guys take care. God bless. And we'll see you next time. Bye.